Hey guys, Chris here from the Batch Universe. So today I'm gonna recite another poem from the book It's Not All Blue from my good friend Danielle from Long Island. The name of the poem is Insomnia, and I chose the time of the day pretty well to recite the poem. It's right now the beginning of the night, and most of the time people get insomnia in the night. So let's recite that poem. Insomnia. It is insomnia, yes, but this time the fault is mine. I left the lamp on. Stupid, stupid me. If I get up to flick it off, the act of standing will stir me awake worse. So I hold my hand just above the chest and pose it where I find a perfect placement for them to shadow themselves, project themselves onto the ceiling, where they can then be reflected as giants. It helps them to get to see themselves as well endowed conquerors, but they forget about me. They forget that I do not want to remember that I and sometimes who I am up against. That there are parts of me that are only parts of the whole figure, and yet they can somehow become much larger. Something about forgetfulness and how it seems intentional in a way I cannot grasp. As if subconsciously some part of me, hence, in this case, did not think I was worthy of sleep tonight and therefore did not darken the lamp. I must be making this up, but it feels as though something in me does not like me, does not wish the best for me. Some criminal thing that has absconded from law. The idea is eerie, unsettling, preposterous. I want to go ahead and sleep it off, but will it let me? So this is very interesting because I have had a lot of moments of insomnia in my life. I often have had nights where I could not sleep and I had to go to university or to work after 2 hours of sleep or even like sometimes sleepless night. I remember times when I had to work the whole day long and drinking coffee all day long because I could not sleep the day before. I was thinking way too much. And I think this poem represents that really well. It represents the different things that you can have when you have insomnia. Like, for example, at the beginning, I left the lamp on. Very simple thing, very silly thing. You just left the lamp on. And then if I get up to flick it off, the act of standing will stir me awake worse. Obviously, when you can't sleep, you go like, oh, I need to go to the toilet, but you don't know if I need to go to the toilet. I don't know. I need to go up, and then I want to stay in my bed. I'm supposed to sleep, but I need to go to the toilet, and it goes on and on and on. It's like, oh, I left the lamp on, but then I need to stand up to turn it off. You know Instead of just doing it, you think about it. Then this poem represents really well the act of thinking and thinking and thinking. I'm gonna put my hands up and it's gonna be a giant. I'm gonna try different things. And I think every time somebody goes through insomnia, he goes through all these different things. Okay, I don't know. I'm gonna try to go and do that. I'm gonna try to go do that. I'm gonna try to stop thinking because I'm thinking too much. The good thing is that there is not in that poem at some point she speaks about the hand, the lamp, and then the hand, and then being the hand showing giants becoming conquerors, and then no, but they forget about her, and you know, and obviously we all had these things. If you go through insomnia, you have those things in your head, you know, and I find that interesting. At the end, I want to go ahead and sleep it off, but will you let me? But am I gonna just find sleep at some point? Because at some point, when you go through insomnia, all you try to do is just find a way to get asleep, and you have all those thoughts coming up and up and up, and not leaving you alone. And anyway, I don't know. I think it's really interesting because I've been through insomnia very, very, very often in my life. And the first example about leaving the lamp open is very, it speaks to me really, really well because I remember in the past actually, I had like really strong OCD of turning on and off the light many times before I slept. And the most I did was because sometimes it was like 10 times, sometimes 30 times, but the most I did before sleeping was, I think, was something like 500 times, like ta 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 in a row, which obviously stopped me from sleeping. Anyways, it's the night, and I had a few days off, so I could live my life during the day. But I'm a night receptionist, and my life normally is during the night, you know. And the funny thing is that when you start living during the night, you become insomniac during the day, you know, because I've had many days when I went home and I just could not sleep so well. So I accumulated a lot of tiredness and exhaustion. So again, I wanted to talk about that book. Recently, I've read a lot of different poems from that book, and there are so many really, really, really good poems in that book. Like the one I just read and the one I read in my previous videos, but also so many different ones. Some are shorter, some are longer, some are, some will speak to you more, some will speak to you less, like every time. But I remember in the past making videos about how, in my opinion, poems represent window, showing different things of the past. You could look at a poem and you look at a window and see that's the landscape of the emotion, that's the landscape of something that happened. Like when you read this poem about insomnia, there is a reason why she wrote a poem about insomnia. Obviously, she has had to experience it, and actually now I read like recently a lot of those poems in that book, and I really could see that. I really could see the windows of different things in the past, and I think it's really worth it. Another thing is that I think this book is very interesting, and because me as a poet, I often had that idea that poems is about rhyme, a certain rhythm. I had like lyrical poems, lyrical poetry in my head. That was what poetry was about. But this is another form of poetry, obviously. And the more I read that, the more I look at it, the more I spoke with my friend, the more I appreciated this different way of writing poetry. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed it, and I think you really should just if you enjoy poetry, or if you like art, or if you want to support really nice people, really good people and artists, you should really think about buying this book. And have a good day. And actually, I should tell you have a good night. And anyway, have a good moment. Enjoy life.